All right. Well, recording the live stream started, and we have Ollie versus Carnage in our round 1 match. I believe they are in Group 1. The same group that just has and is currently actually playing Brian versus or Personal Glitch versus blanking on who he's playing against, but that's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm just double checking I haven't disconnected or anything.
All right. Terrible decision, and I'm sticking to it. All
right. You place for first strat marker?
Alright.
All right. I go top left.
Alright.
Yeah.
I go bottom right.
That's my split.
So Shinlong, Fuhatsu, and Sensei Yu, or everyone else.
There's a Wandering River Monk with Fuhatsu, etc.
Place Fuhatsu.
Corner. I don't think it really matters all that much.
It does not.
I'm going to attempt to go get another commentator. Sent me an invite on the second. And we're figuring that out while they're doing setup. If anyone cares
Say it
to
again.
know what I'm doing.
I'm done.
Maybe this explains why I didn't understand your split. I don't see
Yeah,
the...
no, it looks like I've lost connection.
Okay.
Classic.
Bro.
So room locked currently.
I will unlock it.
Thank you.
Doop.
I've got to redo all my careful placement now. A whole 10 seconds it took me. Loading back in.
Yes.
Hello, hello. Oh. Good morning. All right. I feel like I have everything up and running, working. What do I want to check? Oh, do you want to? Can you say something? Yeah, I gotta go. For some reason, you're not coming
and it's simply
through.
base contact with the cactus that deals damage, right? There was no like aura shenanigans like from 3 months ago.
I believe it's.
I
think is it not a dense, severe, concealing, damaging?
That's because I have it muted. Oh, do you want to? Can you say something?
I don't know. Either way, no, there isn't an aura. I'm pretty certain.
Okay. Let's see.
Is it because I'm using the
It
browser
comments on the
Discord?
razor wire, but not.
So.
I think there's a comment in the Discord somewhere. Actually, one of the other two can jump in and tell us, but it's not really going to make. I'm certain there isn't an aura.
Yeah.
As long as
Okay, cool.
we're both happy with that.
Then I will do that. I will do.
All right. Do you want to say something again?
Check.
Yeah,
Nope.
there we go. All right. Cool.
I need to actually play intelligently. Tragically.
And then I want.
Yeah, guys, the cacti are dense, severe, concealing, hazardous one.
Okay, so they're forests of pain.
Yep.
Something that is not going to come up this game, I don't think.
I would be surprised, but I do need to know where my blood hunter can go once he's done puking. Is that a solid huddle?
It looks very solid.
Yeah, let's do that. To declare intent, there's a line between the blood hunter and the shaman. Cool. And I guess Harridan can be a little bit further up. Hold on. Hope it doesn't matter, but there we go. All right, deployed.
Changes everything I was just doing.
I knew it.
So okay. We get cracking.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good luck, mate.
Good luck.
I'll keep this hand.
All right. Like my games, like I like my cake bacon. Quick and messy.
Easy.
That'll work. I think.
Initiative.
Yep. I have one ancient pact. All right. It's all W on that one. You
Matters
can
a lot.
you can go
Monk of
first.
the Low River's gonna go.
And I have
Use
to go
distracted for chi.
Okay.
It goes to chi. Double focus. Done.
I will have my blood hunter go. He's gonna puke up a corpse.
Of course.
Corpse. Then he's going to
I'm happy to think that's a gap. Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he goes there. He has 2 health. He is down.
Wandering River Monk number 2. He's gonna walk. Sorry, has a chi. Tries to leap.
Yep.
That fails. We'll just concentrate. No, we'll walk again. And it's done.
Cool. Shaman does shaman things. Eats the corpse. Hands up. Focus. Gains a grow token. I'll use burning. Unless you plan on fire kicking me, that might come up, I guess, but I doubt it. Then he's going to Pustule Nikima. I'll cheat in this tome. Lo and behold, she gains another focus. And then we will be concerned about where Fuhatsu could possibly go. But Mama didn't raise no punk. We're gonna go.
Morning.
Morning.
To,
so
we
just have to change. I just have to change a couple of auto settings so we can get a recording
get
of without our voices for those who care about it that are going to listen to this later. What do you think about the list right now?
Well, the one I'm most familiar with is Andre's Nikima, of course.
I think everyone's pretty familiar with it by now.
It is.
I will actually say
I
I'm
have
normally
him.
used to seeing 2 mature Nephilims from him. So, because this is his hay-ridden version of the list, which is a little different than what he normally runs, from what
am I
I'm
back?
used to at least.
Good.
Yeah,
Hello?
and I think he
you're
started.
back. Oh, okay, I didn't realize you
I
left.
don't know exactly when
Yeah,
he
no,
brought it in,
cut out for
but
some
for
reason.
the
Sorry, what
break the line.
was
So I think this
the
is a
second
very
thing you did?
GG2 version
I
of
got-
Andres.
He walked up.
Nekima.
Sorry, the focus on Nekima.
The black blood pustule was the.
Cool.
I'm curious to see. I'm also a little interested in why he brought the
Wandering River Monk
hay-ridden
#1.
one.
Get
The more
chi.
reliable damage without duels,
No
I guess,
walk.
is what we're going for here. Maybe to get just the
Just gonna
ping
try
damage
and
on
loop.
armored units like Fuhatsu, or
Yeah,
the
and then
ones
he'll just
who
concentrate for a chi.
pop
Very
away.
cool. I think it's pass token time.
He's
2 remaining.
also pretty good about pulling tots off of Hayridden's
I think we go with
trigger,
Shenlong.
and
Get a
with
chi.
spread them
Then
out
attach
and
Wandering
break through
River
in this
style.
pool. That's
Yep.
a valid scoring threat.
Oh,
That is true.
I mean, obviously Hayridden's here to kill things, but if he
so
brings a
all my
little
Wandering Monks get a chi.
scoring body before he
Yep.
dies, that's a big move.
Can you hit start game for me?
I thought I had.
Yeah, my phone. It had started, and then my phone's just had a hissy fit. We will.
The game started for me, or did it just load?
Well, I guess we'll talk about while they're doing some technical difficulties, talk about the
If you just
Shenlong
back
crew a
out
little
there
bit. I'm a little
Go back
surprised
into it again. It'll probably work.
Does that
at
work?
the Shenlong crew, to be honest.
Just check. I'm just
Um,
boxing down everything else in my phone.
That's a
Make
lot of
sure
Wandering River monks.
helps.
How many
And
does he have? Does he have 3?
he has 3 Wandering River monks.
Just the app's running.
And I'm not used to seeing that.
Right now. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
we will make
I'm not
sense of
super
the
familiar
home
with
section. Goes off.
Shenlong, to be honest,
He's
but
gonna make the low river monk
I've
pass.
never heard
Okay.
of more than one
We'll
coming
then
in.
transfer that
It's always
path
the
to Fuhatsu. Yeah, that goes off.
low river shenanigans with a lot of
We'll transfer
out
the
of keyword
focus to
stuff, so this
Fuhatsu.
is pretty interesting.
We will cheat it.
I think that's valid in this high gen pool, high AP pool.
I think we walk up.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So
definitely
glad
a
they
high
finally
AP
managed
pool.
the courage to
I got a
map
little
everything around
blown out
Fuhatsu,
because of
but
that
not Fuhatsu.
in my
All right.
game, because I
It
just
was
didn't bring
perfectly
enough people
fine. What are
to
you talking about?
be off in the
Right.
sides for the strategy markers.
Try
But
to nerf Hinamatsu because she's so strong.
even
Anyways,
that being
let's
said,
go
when
with
you bring all of your
another pass
strategy
token
markers in
and
the
not
bottom
reaction
right,
individual.
I'm partially curious why he's sending the river monks over there, because I feel like that's where the attention is going to
Warder's
be,
gonna
and I'm
go.
not sure you want the
Gonna
river monks
try and do our bonus.
where the attention is
Sorry,
going
we
to
get a
be.
chi.
Right.
Try and do our bonus. No, that fails.
And it's not like river monks can outrun Nephilim. Like, they're fast, but
concentrate for a chi.
they're not that fast.
And we're done.
Young Money's gonna go.
Yeah. It really
He's
makes
going
you.
to... Actually, no. I'll burn my last pass token.
It really does kind of make you wonder
Spy Student 1 is going to get a chi. He's going to spend that to try and push Fuhatsu.
what
What a waste.
what their actual end goal is going to attempt to be with the Wandering River monks, because if they're just going out there to be an annoyance and to be sacrificed, I feel like they're not gonna. It's not gonna last that long.
And he's gonna walk up.
I mean, Andre in particular just wants sacrificial models,
Young
right?
Money's
Like,
actually
if those
gonna
models are
body
there
on
to do
himself.
some actions and die, that's exactly the sort of thing that Andres Nekima loves.
Cool with that.
Yeah, especially because he has the 2 young Nephilims.
2 youngs, yeah.
And they're just going to be walking corpse markers for them. I mean, they died to 1 severe.
Tries to leap. Fails. Not really worth a chi. And then we'll double walk. And then we're done.
Alright.
So I know that Fuhatsu is pretty much a standard fare here, but how much, I guess, how much of that is because it's a Nikima match from Ollie's perspective, right? Like, is he going with the Shenlong Fuhatsu build because he knows he's playing Andre, or because it's good here?
I think he's doing it because it's the standard. Because I'm not convinced Fuhatsu is what you want to do against Nekoma.
Okay. Even
Um,
with that big gun.
I mean, one of the
Fuhatsu, and
point of like the
everything you
big
stand
guns
for.
of Fuhatsu is
Let's.
you want to
I'm gonna take a
blast
look at what
off of
strategy markers do for
people
me.
and get the
Let's see.
damage in, and you don't want them on top of you because
Great.
you don't want to be spending your action pushing models away. And sometimes if they get between you and a building, now you're just a dead model until they can get you unengaged. Like it's better now with the towards and away rules of pushing, but it's still kind of risky if he mispositions Fuhatsu. I will say this though,
That's a fair point that I make.
and this is something I messed
Let's
up on a
go
little bit,
with
is that building is height 2 in the middle of the map there,
the mature.
and
He's going
you
to fly with
can't
me on Young God.
hide your height
Yep.
3 models behind it and
And of
not
course
get
the
hit
other
by
one
Fuhatsu.
again
So there
will take
really
that
is almost
+9.
nowhere to hide in this bottom right corner of the map from Fuhatsu.
Yeah. And in that respect, that's the side he does want the strategies on, because he's got all the sight lines in the
Land in
world.
the cactus.
Yeah.
Tempted.
All he has to worry about is that one
Um,
height 5 building, and that's it.
We're gonna go there. Then we're going to take a walk. And we will take yet another walk. And that's Mature's turn. I draw a card.
Rather scary. Sensei you, we'll go to Chi. We will make the Charm Water fast.
I mean, this
We'll
is the way
charge
to
for
deal with
Hatsu.
that Fuhatsu issue on the bottom, right? Like, not deal with it. He can grow up his first young Nephilim when it's time to engage.
4 cards for damage.
And
1 damage.
he is able to keep stuff.
Draw 2.
But
Discard a 3. We'll punch him again. Relentless.
I'm interested where he
Hit him,
sends
big for a
Nekima
laugh,
in
4
this map,
cards.
because
What a
a
waste.
mature and a young is kind
1
of
damage.
overkill for the Wandering River Monk on
Draw
the top
2.
flank.
And then discard 2 for hand size. And that's Sensei you done.
Yeah,
About as well as that could have gone. We're gonna go with Young God, who is going to fly with me on himself. Can't top deck 6, boys. All right. Anyway,
I'm not sure what they're going to end
keep
up
that
doing.
in.
And now I actually have the recording all set up, so I'm actually happy. That's what
Okay,
I've been working
there.
on, and now we have a perfect recording of them playing, admittedly a little bit late start-wise, but if you guys who are watching this video want to watch the video without our
Go
wonderful
try and
commentary,
stagger.
why would you in the first place? It is now officially
so take a look
started the proper recording with just the Discord audio from Ollie and Andre. And now...
And we will try and make sure that both of
I'm
these
sorry.
versions are
Do you mind
available
if I do this,
online
sir?
later, so that
Yeah, sure.
you can listen to your preference.
All right, so now you have my full attention, and no more like asking me half questions and me going and being like, yeah,
Alright, Fuhatsu, you big
No, it's
brown
fine. I've been
bastard,
trying
get
to
over
share
here.
the link around at the same time, so we're both like a quarter of a commentator between us.
Yeah. So now we got our full attention. I am actually surprised at how far northwest of the map we have Andre going with Young God the Second and his mature Nephilim. It really does kind of just show he's not intending to engage turn 1.
No.
Which I think is probably the correct decision. It is corners, the hardest one to engage on turn 1.
You can get Nekima up.
But he does actually have some plays if he wanted to try to do it.
We will go with Aspiring Student 2. We're going to push through Hatsu. With the Chi we generate goes off. We'll move them to here.
Yeah. That's 6 inches, damn it, by the way. There's no choice on the distance.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
A little bit of rules clarification. Sensei Yu is just one of those models that I am constantly surprised at how much work he
Don't know
puts
what
in, but I also feel like work he
again.
just doesn't do. Because he's so important for that early game, getting the fast
I
up,
should use my time.
drawing your cards, but I feel like I've always just felt that Sensei Yu just falls off at a point and
Yeah,
he
he's
just
cool.
ends up not doing much. Maybe it's because I'm just my play style is a bit more killy, but I feel like that's what's going to happen here. So it's going to be interesting on what he relies on him for the scoring, or maybe that is why he brought the Wandering River Monk, so he doesn't have to worry about him scoring.
I mean, there's a sense in which bringing Sensei Yu into these lists turns it into
Okay, so let's
an
look at cover
action
if you wanna
funneling
kick
crew,
the
right?
key.
Like you're not
Oh, these guys. This is your
bringing
last suit
multiple
activate,
beaters.
right?
You're really relying on
I've
just
just got
Fuhatsu
Fuhatsu
doing
now.
god work,
And
for
Shenlong,
good
though,
or ill. Yeah, right,
Yeah,
true.
cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, you've always got Shenlong.
which
Turny's gonna
is
come
one
back.
of the best beaters in this game. I mean, you're seeing Nekma on the board,
job.
but honestly, I think a
No
good
bonus
chunk of the
action
time I'm
'cause
more
it's
afraid of
Go ahead.
Shenlong because of the
Uh,
he can
okay, I'll pop the
statistically
key
just get lucky sometimes and just put out an obscene amount of damage if he's
Sorry, man.
flipping on those
Where's?
if he gets any good moderate or severe flips
I don't quite know
on
why
his
Wi-Fi
6
here just
attacks.
decides to do that sometimes.
Right.
Could you unlock again for me?
Oh yeah.
Which is gnarly. And these guys are having a little bit of issue with connection to vassals every once in a while. Ollie's dropping and coming back in, but it doesn't seem to be an issue so far.
Yeah, for those of you
That seemed
who
like my
don't
Brian
know,
lost that game,
if you have
tank.
issues dropping in Vassal,
Fuhatsu's
there's a
gonna
pretty
walk.
useful feature
Yeah,
on the top right where the players are located. I realize I can't really show
Okay.
that on the stream right now, but
Take a shot at
you
your
can right
shaman.
click on the name and the group and the
It's
channel
going
there are and
focus.
synchronize to
Oh,
them
he's
so
size
that if
3.
anything happened, you can just pop right back
Yeah.
into where they still have the current game.
Yep.
Giving you the size 2 building.
Something that
is,
took me forever to
fairly
figure out
convinced above
and
land
has
here.
been one of the most useful things
Poor
ever since
shaman.
I've known
Never had
that.
a chance. Okay.
It makes it
So
pretty
staying
impossible
focused.
to lose a game
Yep.
state, which is huge.
16.
17.
The Fuhatsuing begins.
18.
Yep.
Need triggers. So straight flip.
Yep.
4.
Takes it.
Sorry, I'm thinking if I just want to severe you, or if I want to be blasting. Better to just put some shots into Nikima. Yeah, we'll just do 6.
Okay. Dead.
Third AP, shoot Nikima.
This is one of the
Not
things
staying
for that height
focused 'cause
2
you've got cover.
building. He just wasn't within he wasn't
Okay.
within 2 inches of the
16,
building,
retreat.
therefore he wasn't in the cover or the
Next one is
shadow
16.
of it.
Yep.
And then he just gets popped and gone.
You've already
Yep.
got the red out of the deck.
Although I am surprised he
Crit
didn't
strike,
stone for the blast
though.
and then make
I
sure
don't really
that he gets the bonus
I don't.
damage
You
on
cheated, so I'll
the
draw a card
young
from
and
spite.
4 cards.
the
Big strike.
totem.
Well, are they in Hayridden?
3
They
damage.
would heal a
Takes it.
whole bunch off of
It's going to rapid
Hayridden's
fire on you.
Yep.
front of card ability. I don't remember the name
19.
18.
offhand.
Oh,
But
no,
the
crit strike.
just hitting the focus
Go
damage
ahead.
on the one model is probably more efficient
3
in
damage
the
again.
long run.
Full stone. Takes 2.
And then I'll discard to Juggernaut.
Are you talking about the
and
revitalizing
roll to
Ichor?
4.
Yes.
In fact, I'll cheat this 10 in.
Yeah, I guess you're
Put it
right.
back in my deck.
Because ignoring the black blood.
Done.
So that's still only going to be 1
Cool.
HP
End of
for
round.
each of them, right?
Oh, just kidding. Here.
Hayridden. I'm quite happy if you end it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Still
still
probably
a
a net
possible
positive.
dead blood hunter, is all I was thinking.
God, Fuhatsu's such a piece of garbage. All right, anyway, let's go with Hayridden.
The common hate for Fuhatsu already coming out.
Yeah, I just didn't think about the shadows.
Nobody
You're right,
likes
it's
this
literally
model.
Fuhatsu was size
No.
2. That was my mistake.
Thank God for the focus changes. Focus 5 Fuhatsu was, no bueno.
How do you feel about that overall? I mean, obviously, we're at an early point of this game. Fuhatsu is still doing Fuhatsu things.
Gross,
The big
gross,
difference,
gross.
like, he's gonna run out of gas sooner. Need to get reloaded back up with
You only need
focus,
1
which is
Anyway,
very
he double walks
doable.
there. Nothing else to talk about. Done.
you think that it hit this playstyle at all.
I've
Yep.
got some deadly pursuits.
I
I
guess
think
there's
it
not a
definitely hit
Tanuki on
his
the
play
board.
style.
And up this way.
I was never a fan of the Tanuki, anyways. I don't.
Yeah.
Me and Pope DARPA, who
Certain
is
death.
my local 10 Thunders player,
He who is about to die. Salute.
never really understood that model and understood why people were going
Just
for it.
peg it away
Um,
from Nikima.
But depending on what crew you are, especially Shenlong, where you're going to have all the elements to focus deck him, I think it was always worthwhile. And the 2 focus is definitely a huge hindrance to him. Whenever I see him in the
Okay.
game now, I really don't care
End of a turn.
nearly as much as I used
Keep an
to
eye,
about that model.
Reshuffle, discard. Keep
He really does suffer from needing to have those big explosive turns, and he needs to have more than one of them, I feel. And when you're have cover, you have concealing, and you have ways of getting him on neg flips,
Yep.
if he doesn't have focus, he's just hitting you for 2 on an
Sure.
attack that's not even that likely to hit.
As tempting as watching you.
So
go more
cover,
hard
hard
than
to wound, you
feels.
no longer care about the model.
She does
Just
seem to have
cover,
enough in
as
there,
long
but
as they're not focused, you don't really care
definitely
about
needs
the
a few more
model.
holes.
Even when they are focused,
I
like
really
there's
hope
just
that
a good
Williams watches this
ways.
game
There's
and
a
watches how a 9-stone model defines the game. Anyway, let's go with 12. So 12, 13.
but we get a little bit of disagreement there.
4 plus tokens.
little disagreement from the
Pretty good
active
stuff.
player. I really think it's also it was purely a misposition. 2 inches earlier, Fuhatsu was never going to have a line of sight to that model.
Right.
It was going to be in cover and it was going to be fine. I also think that you just have to know how to play around it, and in certain maps, obviously, he's going to be much more dominant because he doesn't have a good way of
Well,
dealing
Nikki,
with it.
it's
But
not great. In fact, it's rather terrible, but you got a job to do.
it's just something that is
so let's
definitely
go with
massively annoying. It is something that defines the game.
Nikima.
So
Question is, what
there's
do
really
you do?
nothing I
What
can
is your
disagree with
plan
when
with
you
that
say
Charm
this
Ward? That's such
9-stone
a weird
model
pick.
dictates the game.
Yeah. And I mean, Andre's doing a good job of keeping in cover and keeping in shadow, but like,
No plan.
like look at Nekima's health already, right? The action hasn't started. That's not where she wants to be, and Andre is forced to move to very specific locations on the board, and that's a
That's decent.
huge warp of what the battlefield looks like.
Yeah, but I will say I honestly think it was just a fact that he had last activation control, right? And he chose to leave it to Hayridden instead of Nekima, and all he did with Hayridden was hide him behind the house,
We're
which
going to
was a
walk,
safe
charge,
spot.
bring
So
right
why would he not have gone with
monk
that
one.
first and then gone with
Okay.
Nekima afterwards?
That's fair.
Regen, boop, boop.
So
You're
I
gonna
think
burn
part of
focus.
that definitely is just that he just a
Bringing me
little
up to
bit of
block 10.
misplay there.
Spend it.
Overall, that
She
doesn't matter
might
too
be
much
a
because, as we're
17.
seeing right now, Nekima's going to go in, and she's going to go in with a
Coolio.
regen 2, so already healing
Let's
off a good chunk of that
20.
Fuhatsu
Let's
damage.
shove.
And then he's just going to start murdering models,
Yeah.
which is going to give him even more health.
Yeah, yours.
Yeah,
So
and he cheated in the shove aside, of course, and
Because you did not cheat, I will not declare shove.
or not.
Then that is a straight flip from focus. Moderate dead.
he did not want his
Move
shove
one.
aside.
30 AP.
Because it fizzles
Going to
That's
shove
true.
again.
if he kills the river monk.
True, but he could have. I guess he knew he was cheating for
No,
moderate
'cause I have to
whenever
get
or
rid of
something,
spells.
but yeah. All right, fair enough. I was just thinking for a little bit, like, does it really matter the most? And this is what I was saying with the Wandering River monks. Nekima's going to go in, going to kill him, hit a moderate, and then just heal 1. And now one more Wandering River monk dies, and bam, he's at almost full. He still has 5 stones left, and you just murked. You just gained a massive activation control, which I think is going to be huge.
And I think
Yep,
he's
gotta go
got it. I mean, I'm
don't love it, but
assuming
there we
that
go. So teleport to there.
he's
Burn another
probably got the
focus,
cards
stab
at
Wandering
this
River Monk
point with
2.
focus to take
17.
this monk out.
Honestly, even if
Maybe
he
not.
doesn't have the second card to cheat, flipping moderate's on negative as long as he's landing the attack is, I mean, statistically not
The
uncommon.
fact that you don't have to cheat
Right.
first both times is kind of sad. I need you to be dead though. 21.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Ouch.
This is where you see
God.
how amazing chi
Bless
is.
America.
And then he has to cheat
Moderate.
the moderate. Yeah, that's a painful amount of cards
God,
coming out
right.
of his hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sad.
But like you said, that's a ton of points off the board
Shields level.
and a ton of activation
Seems done.
control. And she's in a pretty safe spot,
Yeah,
relatively.
I mean, safe is
Well, that was
definitely
pretty grim.
relative when Shenlong is there, but
Yeah, I thought so.
Fuhatsu doesn't really want to attack her. Because,
There's always a chance of it.
one, he only has one focus. I mean, he
particularly
might be able to get other focuses,
no, I
but
had
the
a gross
more he
hand, which
goes
is
with
great
other
'cause it did not
models,
flip well.
that Fuhatsu's going to be engaged, and now he's losing AP,
aspiring
so
student 2.
Yep.
Is gonna get a chi.
it's really now
Well,
going to be a
then,
question of how
I think we
the
just
10th
need to
Thunders
full
players
winds
takes his
punch
next few
you.
activations, while his
You've got
Fuhatsu's in the
concealment,
middle
so
of the
we'll
board,
focus and spend
being
that
threatened to be engaged.
to full winds punch you.
Okay.
5 against your defense.
Mm-hmm.
Go down a chi. 15.
So now he's just trying to move Nekoma into a
Less.
better position, it looks like, with an inspiring student.
Yep. And I just realized that all this distracted on the monks is what Ollie's using to represent his chi.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot more sense.
No, he didn't. He didn't just decide to distract all of his own units.
Unit up already.
Not
Where do I
quite.
get another chi?
Not
Yeah,
quite
we
the
can move that
decision he's
away.
making at the moment.
And we're done.
Okay. In range. Not covered.
Oh, we have a. I just realized.
That
As a
course.
streamer, I should be reading my chat. But yeah, it is. It is
9-2
good to know that
model
shove
with full
fizzles with
health.
attack. Anything that has the
Let's go
target
with-
involved with it on any trigger just fizzles
that's
out if the target dies. There used to be great debate about that because they were arguing that the sacred sentences are separate, but
just
I think that was an FAQ actual response to it, or I don't
I
know
don't
if that.
remember if there's an official FAQ, but at this point, and certainly within this series, that's taken as standard.
Yeah, we've been playing
that's
since
one of those
GG0, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Most tournaments
Yeah.
have been. So any trigger that begins with the target, if the target dies, you're not doing it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And here he
I
is.
might
He's
do a
throwing
little
his
bit more
little
than that.
lovely totem forward just to annoy Fuhatsu, or
Feels like
it
we
might
probably
just
better.
be out, so he might have to go
Let's-
and measure again just to see if he can get those couple
6,
extra
1, 2,
millimeters. And it
3.
looks like it's very easy to do when he's actually
Yeah,
paying
I got it.
attention to where the movement is.
So goes to base contact there, and he heals 1. Yep, that's fine. Bloodhunter done.
This is
One of
where
the other
you're
things, the other interesting plays I was
It was
seeing
patrol
was
mortar.
he can actually just go and I'm not
get
sure
the
how
long walk.
closely Young is, but if
Yeah,
he's close
cheap.
enough to throw that strategy, throw the strategy right below
We'll
Fuhatsu,
jinx Nikima.
and then if you
hot.
can just get it right outside of his base, it's concealing terrain, so he's going to lose his plus flip.
15.
Yep.
No chi.
The
it's
casual throw
also-
your whole crew at Nekoma and hope to God you kill her, because if you don't, you're probably losing the
We'll
game.
go 19 and spite.
It's the
Yeah, we'll fail.
it's the way to do it. I don't.
We'll jinx you
There's
again.
not
Yep.
any crews in the game that force you to play their
No
game
cheat.
so well
And this
as
is
Nekima does.
Double neg.
yeah.
Power 6, right?
And these jinxes are going to be huge because they're
1 damage
applying
major.
injured right now.
But want to try and Chaos Fury. It's not a cry. We're done.
So he cheated the first one. He had another 13 in his pocket. So Andre drew a pretty good hand of cards this game, and then he just ended up getting injured on the second attack, which can that Shenlong's coming.
Yeah.
You're always afraid.
Yours.
Yeah.
with where Nikima's current
I'm
positioning,
going
we're
to
assuming that
activate.
Shenlong's coming down there, but it's keeping him tied up even for a turn in the backfield like this a net win.
You
I
know,
could,
that's
but that's
it is a very good question. And it's a little hard to answer, I think, because the mature is only getting one attack in. Well, actually, no. He actually probably has his bonus action charge, but now with no cards in hand, it's definitely a
Mhm.
little
Let's see
scarier
what
if he's
how
going to get
easy
these
it
fly
is.
with me's or
Okay,
not.
let's
Yep.
And if Nekema
try
goes
this one
down,
first.
then I really don't know much of what the
That's
rest
stupid,
of
right?
his crew is going to do anymore. Because you're going to have such a commanding presence on the field with Shenlong, Sensei
Gosh,
Yu,
man,
the
I hate
Charm
this.
Order
Alright,
being
Young Money
pushed
activates.
around that
He's
if
going
Nekema
to
actually dies,
fly with me.
I feel it's going to be hard, but I also just don't really see Nekema dying. 6 Soul Stones is a lot of Soul
Right
Stones.
Yeah.
And
And of course, he's
then
got inhuman reflexes on there, so
Um,
he's gonna do everything he can to
at that point,
make that a
do we
hard
just
kill.
like chew on Fuhatsu and see
yeah,
what happens? Or
and so it really does feel like it'll be hard to take down Nekema, but you never know. I mean,
actually, realistically, truly, in my heart of hearts, I know what the correct answer is, and I don't like it, but it's there.
oof. That's the heart of Art's
So,
true answer right there. Where he decides to give up fighting Fuhatsu and go down to the strategy marker.
It's a tough
Real
sell.
estate nestled in the love of the forest, or that is to say, we're not in it. So
Victory points or
events will
victory
matter.
points? I'm a little curious about why this is the true
Anyway,
answer,
Zon, go
and I
ahead.
think I know the. I think I just figured it out because one thing we didn't mention when this all started, and we kind of just assumed you guys know, was the schemes and strategies.
Bennett says he lost
And
connection.
fun fact, Outflank is in this, and I'm
Fine.
now very confident that's what he's going for,
Oh wow. I
which
just honestly
shocks me.
I had written off. Yeah, I know. I know. Um
What a cowardly move.
It is terribly cowardly.
I
but,
wonder
you
if
know,
he'll see the potential
Fuhatsu.
outflank threatening, because it's really the only thing that makes sense to me on
Sensei
why
Yu
you would
is gonna go
throw two
Mhm.
really
Gonna
relevant beater
walk.
pieces out to the corners of the wind.
Before I do this, I should make some calls.
I guess
Charm Order's gonna become
just so
5k.
everyone has them,
Yep.
I probably should give
Walk.
the other
That's the
symbols
cost of a chi
or
to the Charm Order,
other
right?
schemes
Yeah.
and strats. So obviously we're doing break the line. We're in corners. We have breakthrough, outflank, spread them out, vendetta, and catch and release.
Give me a second, brothers. I think we charge for Blood Hunter.
I probably should put them somewhere. I think once they reveal the schemes that they have, I'll find a way to
So
put
let
them
me
on the
just
screen or
have this
something.
before.
That's something to think about next time. Maybe actually pull out the. I think I can pull out the scheme scoring things, but I think people can see them, so it's a little bit weird. But we'll see. I'll do a little testing about that before our next
Do I
stream.
just make sure that maybe that's the better move?
sounds good. Yeah.
So what while we're waiting for what he figures out how all in
Sorry,
committed he
this is
wants to
just a
be to
me testing.
Nekema. What do
No,
you
you got
think?
it. Go ahead.
What do you think his other? If we're assuming that Andre took outflank, because that's kind of what he's representing. Maybe spread them out,
Walk.
because you can
We
do
just need to
both
commit to
together
it
pretty
rather than
well as
charge.
well. But what do you think his other scheme is going to be?
We'll swing on Nikima. 6
Mhm.
against your defense.
4.
20.
At least it wasn't on damage.
It
12.
wouldn't
2d4,
surprise me
right?
to see a vendetta
Yeah, blue
somewhere.
strike. If I
And
want
that
Sure.
might be another reason why that Nephilim
it.
is piecing out.
Yeah, I think crit strike's for one to take.
If it's a vendetta
Starting to
target,
put
but
me
I
on
don't
egg.
Nope.
know. Would you put it vendetta
So
onto
20,
Fuhatsu?
12 straight.
It's kind of a
Yep.
hard
3 damage.
second point at that point if you're relying on your youngs to score that for you.
Yeah, I get a chi.
Yep.
From splashing.
Outflank and spread them out
one
just
more turn.
seems
And we're done.
untenable for the number, like the amount of fighting that's going to happen in this matchup,
And the amount of
the
interacting.
amount of
Let's
yeah.
go with.
So I would say Vendetta is probably, if we're assuming outflank,
That would be for the game essentially.
it would be
Let's
Vendetta,
go with Harridan.
potentially catch and release again on a young, but I think
Swing
that
walk.
that doesn't mesh with
It's
what
going
Andre wants to
to
do, which is kill models, right? I think that given the choice, anyone playing Nekima is gonna go Vendetta before they go catch and release.
let's try and see.
I agree,
Well,
especially with the young Nephilims. They're
Yep.
always a good target to have Vendetta on because then you just grow them into big boy Nephilims.
Yep.
But that doesn't seem to be happening this game.
do that.
So it'll be a
Did,
little
I believe that
interesting.
Shenlong cannot instantly charge Hayridin in any way.
Sure.
All right,
That's your intention.
getting some good
But I
intent
can-
out there so
That is
that
the intent.
even if
Alright,
things
so
are
he
a
walks,
little
charges,
close,
burns
then
focus on Fuhatsu.
you
Stab
have the
that, here we
intent,
come.
which is the official rules of the game.
15.
Sure.
Do you cheat?
Neg.
Yep.
No.
And we have Hayridin's big turn
yeah.
against Fuhatsu.
2 damage becomes 1. Done.
So just a rules comment and a GG2 comment. They did update
Orange League one
Vendetta,
gets a
so
G, which will
if
then
that
push Shenlong.
it might not be Vendetta because if you replace one, it no longer counts for
walk up.
scoring Vendetta points.
And concentrate for
Right,
Chi.
they did make that change, didn't they?
Very good.
Yeah. And
I've
so
never-
previously that was a solid choice, but maybe not
Good time
anymore.
today.
I've never had the fortunate enough to have a crew that ever could pull off that trick, so I did forget that was changed.
Yes.
That is true, right? I forgot about that. That is pretty. That is, yeah. So
theory,
I
that is
think he
fine.
probably just has it on
Looks like
Hayridin,
you don't
maybe.
like your headset.
Yeah, I don't know what he'd be
I
going
have
for
no idea what you
anymore.
mean. We will try and fly with me and pass.
Mhm.
Praise be. And then we will charge.
Sure.
I mean, Hayridin's a tough sell here because
We will hold our focus.
Perfect.
I don't expect him to survive the game. That is certainly a single
You miss.
Cool. Burn
a single
focus.
point.
I mean, you're not wrong, but single points are kind of okay when you don't have, you know, the
Not what you wanted to see.
schemes and
I draw a card.
strats
Your activation.
that really are
I think
indicative
Shenlong
of the
goes
crew
ham.
that
I'll
wants to just
bonus
go and murder.
first.
So a lot of the time, if you're
What
playing
style do I
crews
want
like
to
Nekima,
attach?
you're playing all-in crews on combat. You're perfectly fine taking single
I'm gonna
point
attach
screams
the
because the
minted
whole
style.
point is to just deny them from being able to do the
And get a
strategy at
cheat.
all,
Sure.
and to prevent them from
I'm not
pretty
gonna
much
bonus
having
it.
any of the interacting schemes they want by
I'm gonna
just
charge Nekima.
murdering them
Yep.
and murdering their scheme
Mhm.
runners so that they no longer have the AP to
And
do
I
anything
want to
that
be
they
in
want to
base.
do.
Take a swing on you. 6 against your defense.
Yep.
And here's the big
Hit.
moment I think right now
No chi.
Cool.
is how much
No cheat.
damage is Nekima actually going to take?
Um.
Every time he cheats, he has
Yeah,
inhuman
we'll just spend a
reflexes,
chi
so he gets
token
to
and make
scamper
it
2 inches
irreducible.
away.
Neg damage.
So
Yep.
he really doesn't want to cheat.
2.
Takes 2.
There's also that
One.
spite
Get the
trigger,
chi.
so
So
every
1,
time there's a cheat is a
and
chance
1,
for Nekima to
and
refill her
then
hand.
Sensei, you will give me another chi.
On the plus
I'll
side,
discard a
Nekami
card
is
for
going to
shouting
be
orders.
bleeding
Most
on
likely
these
focus.
people.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I'll punch you with the focus.
So going to get some decent
17.
damage out on
15.
them.
I will spend a chi, make it irreducible, and have it straight.
Spend a stone to have an egg.
And I'm really interesting that he's taking these
well worth it,
irreducibles
too.
instead of
Takes 2.
taking
Splash and splash. I get a chi.
instead of taking
And then I'll punch you again.
the mass trigger to just keep attacking.
13.
Yeah.
10. No cheat.
Onslaught.
Part of that might be
Yep.
the here's
Next.
the onslaught
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
2. I get a chi.
Stone. Nothing. Takes 2.
Splash and splash. And then the onslaught attack.
That
Yeah, the
Black
fact
Joke
that he
Round
never had to
reduction was
cheat is
harsh.
pretty brutal. Oh, that 13's very nice.
So might as well.
So he finally gets a cheat out with a
Do I
13.
actually care?
So he
I
can get
think I
back
do.
into the
That's
forest.
fine, we miss.
Nope,
Okay.
nope. Because that's one of the things he really wanted. Because if he gets the force and engaged, then Fuhatsu now is actually just can't bother Nekima.
Yeah, I need to do less of it. Yeah, no, I can miss. That's fine.
Young God.
Sorry, actually, before I do this, Just to confirm. that
So I
the
think
shadow
Nekoma has
is
a
going
real shot
to
of being killed by
push
Fuhatsu here.
Out of melee.
It's a little unlikely. He's going to only have
Yeah,
one attack,
Yeah, that's fine.
and he can obviously stone to put him at a negative and then stone to
Yep.
prevent, but this is one of those
Anyway,
chances where you can just get unlucky.
Right.
We will activate Young God, fly with me, fails, then he will walk. You're just gonna shove it back with the Wandering River Monk.
I almost want to go. We gotta,
So
we're
we
not
have a
seeing the
card
turn
that's
timer
unlikely.
turned over,
So,
so
he'll
I almost want to
actually
go like put a
interact
little
and
like
drop
just stamp a 2 on the
a
screen
key.
right now. But we are on turn 2
Huh.
right now.
There's
So
Haku.
it looks like he's going to prioritize going for
Well, let's do
outflank
Fuhatsu first.
Yep,
over
push
scoring
along
his
the way.
strategy point.
yep. Heaven forbid you can stop the guy.
I'm a little
Got
confused
it.
here. Because that was his last model to
12.
activate with, and
We'll
Yeah.
shoot at Nekima.
he can't
We'll spend
score
our
outflank
focus.
right now.
Yep. So you have
Do we
a
have cover?
Am I missing something?
Pretty dubious.
I think he's just. I don't think he had a good spot
Makeable.
for the strategy
I don't think I
where
do.
the Wandering River Monk couldn't just
we'll
toss
stay
it
for the
back,
round.
and so he's
I will have friendly
just
fire.
babysitting
So I spent
those
focus, so I'm still on a single pulse.
points in
Yep.
future turns,
18.
and not overextending. I suppose. I'm not
Let's-
sure.
Yeah, I
6.
almost feel like you wanted to
focus,
force the
go for
Wandering
it.
River Monk to come do that, just so
Pause damage.
you can start
Yep.
off your turn
Black, please. God,
charge
black.
And we
attacking,
declare crit.
but
Ooh.
oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
there's
Discard to.
there's the thing
friendly
I hate
fire,
most in
to,
this game, the
rapid fire, rather.
unreliability of
Yep.
jokers.
It's just a straight
So
now. 12.
13. Your cheat.
19.
13 to 19 is
Nekoma
a straight
seems
flip, but I will
unlikely
draw
to
a card from
die.
Spite, assuming I survive.
Okay.
So straight flip, I'm putting on stone for the neg.
Stone for the
Please put them
neg.
in.
He's got
Yep.
his crit.
Yes. Stone.
Stone, Camp Black
Alive.
Joker. Nekoma lives at
Yeah,
1 HP.
was
Ancient Pack.
stupid for me.
He gets to
We
go
should've stayed
again.
with this one.
God.
Then
I don't
he
care about
just.
That's
He's
me
just in a
finish.
good spot, honestly.
Yeah,
if he gets to activate again as Nekoma, as we talked about,
Oh,
Sensei
Black
U's
Joker
at
is
5
not-
HP.
Oh my
You get
God.
some
Okay.
aspiring students over there that are
I'm out,
Nom
bud. It's your
Farter to
table.
Nekoma.
Yeah. Monk of the Low River is gonna get a chi.
Yep.
I think walks.
It's a big save.
Yeah, it's a huge save.
Walks again.
I will admit I missed the fast onto Fuhatsu.
Wandering River Monk.
But I
Chi.
assumed it just came out when Sensei used took his turn because of course it did.
Blast against your.
Why would you ever
guy.
not?
5
But
points of defense.
Young God.
yeah, there's the
Yep.
scatter, the
Yep.
shoot twice.
14.
6. Go ahead.
Honestly, though, I really wanted him to try
Sweet.
to go for the strategy
I do
play with
4
Hay
damage.
Ridden. I think there's a spot where he could have put
And
the
then we'll
strategy
wind blast
marker
you
within
again.
2.
Go
That
Burning
would have
Focus.
gained concealing 2 Nekoma. Nekoma's already in friendly
19.
fire.
Sorry, 18.
Fuhatsu now has a stone to be
You-
at a straight flip to attack.
I think there's also a world where
Yeah,
you
same
can put the strategy in a place
You
that
have-
denies
Damn it.
3.
the scatter.
Oh, that makes up for Nekima.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Alright, I know
Getting it
these. I
behind
know you can
the
draw a
Blood
line of
Hunter.
sight through these strategy, but they're definitely impassable still, right?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to
Yes.
do Nekima's.
So no, you're right. He
splash
could have put the strategy
phase 2.
behind
And then
the
G to
behind the Blood Hunter, and it would have been
Right, end of the turn.
unscatterable.
Yeah.
Fuhatsu's
Yeah,
turn would have had to been killing the Blood Hunter. I agree with you. Or even the mature Nephilim if you waited
Right.
to go with him.
This game sucks.
Oh, I could have tried to leap. Oh.
Yep.
Shuffle.
It
Nekoma
looks
player
like
is getting
Damage.
Shenlonged, and
Stone for cards.
it sounds like it.
Cool.
But
Stone
I really don't
cards.
think he's in that bad of a position.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say he's in that bad of a position, and then I just realized that was, the young Nephilim dying
Hey,
to
Young just
Wandering
died.
River Monk.
Initiative. I have 4 pass tokens, baby.
I
Specials.
definitely missed that because I was too busy talking about.
All right. To literally no one's
Fuhatsu.
surprise, I'm gonna activate Nekima. Dun, dun, dun.
That's how Fuhatsu gets
Amongst
you
you,
though.
I
You
believe.
bring a Fuhatsu, you forget about every other model on the board.
Yeah. I'm too busy talking about
Easy game.
Fuhatsu, how to get around it, and I missed the Wandering River Monk somehow just blowing up a 7 wound
blasted to death. Was annoying.
young Nephilim.
Let's stab. What are the odds that I just like slap Shenlong to death? You have 3 stones?
3 stones.
I don't hate that idea. I'll just die to Fuhatsu, but it's a nice thought.
So it is very nice
Actually,
to
if I kill
see.
Sensei you stop hitting out fast. I need to eat people.
I feel like taking
I'm unlikely to
activations
kill
off
Shenlong.
the board here is more important than killing
Sensei you is hard to
Shenlong.
kill.
It is nice though that he
Cool.
got the he got initiative.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, sure.
Ancient
We'll stab
Pact really
Sensei you.
helps with that. Makes it so that your opponent really doesn't
What do you roll
want
with that
to.
sort of flip? 10.
Makes it so your opponent really doesn't want to invest
Yeah, I
into
think I just let
cheating
this
it.
go.
So 20 to 10, straight flip.
Mm-hmm.
5 damage.
Hard to kill.
So we are going
Heavy
into
game.
Sensei Yu here.
Ugh.
17 with shove.
Probably getting
Yeah, it
that.
was. I should go G.
I do not.
It matters.
I do not declare shove. Actually, yeah, I have to. Okay, so no shove. 17 to 8 is a straight 5 damage.
And there's Sensei Yu, which is, I mean, that's just, I mean, that really is just massive.
Nom, nom, nom,
Nekoma
heal
goes to
1.
4 HP.
Then we will.
It was two actions because of hard to kill, which is
We'll stab
hard, but
Shenlong, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
now he probably is going
surprised.
for the
Spend a
shove
G.
if he can get it.
And I'm on 11.
I'm surprised he didn't blood for blood a
Okay,
little bit.
we'll go to
Like, I
17.
know he wants to heal up Nekoma arguably as
Please.
much as possible, but
None.
Hmm.
if he bloods for bloods, it's at
Okay,
least a stone, right?
17, you say?
Yep.
13.
Single nag. Take 3.
Okay, with that.
And we are going to scamper.
Yeah, not having these shove aside triggers is unfortunate because he doesn't have the stones anymore because
I
he
hate
had to
that
keep
model.
Nekoma alive. And we're just at a point where
Do I scamper into the train? Do I scamper towards the building?
I really think he's just. I mean, I almost want to see Nekoma maybe like run up
Doesn't
towards
really
Fuhatsu
matter.
or the Hayridden because if you get the Shenlong
Anyone can
to go up there to
see.
kill Nekoma, then you probably have a pretty good return kill on Shenlong. Like Nekoma did so much damage to this crew with Black Blood, with his attacks. Straight kill 2 models,
Is that what we want to do?
3 models
I have
now.
better ideas. Outside
With
of
Sensei
one,
Yu dead.
Hatsu has to deal with that. Shenlong at least has to spend an AP walking up to me before his monks hand him the free AP.
It feels like Nekima is
Okay,
doing her
yeah,
job,
sure, we'll go there.
and the real harsh
And
spot
just in case,
for
I'll put up Enraged by Insolence. It fails, and that's okay. Go ahead.
for Andre is that the
I'm order. It's gonna walk.
that young Nephilim at the top being dead now. I mean,
Oh no, that's
Sit in here.
that might be the game.
Yeah.
Gonna do my bonus.
Unless he did actually go for
We
spread them
will-
out instead
sorry,
of
I've got G
outflank.
as well.
Yep.
And if that's the
Cheater.
case, then
And pick
you know
Nikima.
that scheme marker is still doing something.
And
But
we will
if he was
say
going for outflank here, he lost
Rams.
every AP that young
nothing.
Nephilim spent this game.
we will shoot Nikima.
Yep.
Oh, those are 2 cards you do not want to see lost with
Shoot,
the Charm
I'll
Warder's
spend a
bonus
2
action.
and go to an 18.
18.
I assumed that's why he was
I'll go
flipping those
to
2 cards.
13
But
with
yeah.
you cheated,
Yeah.
so I'll draw a card.
I honestly think
I'll take
it looks a
the
little
discard 2
bit
random
like
cards from
Andre's
this.
mindset is on that
Okay.
new Nekoma card,
damage.
and
1
he
damage.
played this game a little like he's
Okay.
playing with new
And then
Nekoma.
I'm gonna just spread your hand out.
He's over it. He's moved on.
It's like he brought 2 youngs to grow them up, and then he just like forgot that he can't do that. It's not just free anymore with the new Nekoma.
7, 3.
Very disappointing. We'll jinx Nikima again.
I'm not sure. Oh, well, that's a
Cool.
good flip.
20.
Because getting the trigger
12.
on Jinx is
Straight flip.
amazing.
Yeah, we'll take the trigger again. 1 damage.
Goodbye,
1 injured,
Nekima's ham.
and we'll now get rid of these 2.
That's
Okay.
brutal.
The charm ward is done.
A 9 and a 4. Yeah.
Your hand was clearly as good as mine.
Yeah, my hand was pretty great.
I mean, but the fact that Nekima continues living is just draining so much AP, so much damage, that it's brutal. I almost... It is unfortunate Nekima's not getting those black blood triggers anymore onto Shenlong, because that was a pretty decent win con. I wonder if you just
Mhm.
try to commit an all-in right now. I don't know what last guard he has, but you might be able to get
Uh,
close to being able to place Mature and then charge Shenlong. And if that is possible, then you might actually just be able to kill Shenlong. Unlikely, because Chi tokens are some grade A, bullshit. But
Did you count your pass tokens at the start?
I think
Did
you
you start
do.
I
Because
think you. I had 3, 6, 8 models. You had 5.
even if you don't
so I
get
think you should have had
Shenlong
3.
out, I think that
that's right.
the Soulstone differential at this point is significant too, and
Okay, so
Andre does need
what
to
am I
do
going
something to
for?
close that
3
gap,
stone, Shenlong's
or
got
Shenlong is just
attack,
going to be a
so
bully
question
and start murdering things.
is,
Or if
would
not
you
Shenlong,
flip
then
it
Fuhatsu.
backwards? And I
I
think
mean, the other
Shenlong
answer is that Hayridden has
queen
literally
here,
the most ideal
I
spot to
can't
go in and
believe I flipped
probably
red and a
kill
queen.
3 models.
Yes.
Unresisted
Okay,
damage
so let's
over
go
over 2 turns.
My man
This is true.
Hayridden,
Yeah, I think this might be what he's doing.
who is going to charge.
Yep,
There we go.
Makes
here we
no
go.
scroll.
Black blood onto 3 people.
Low River Monk. Mick.
Okay.
Great flip.
Every attack seems to be a lovely high damage.
Nice spot
Go for
on
a
Yeah,
that
10.
move.
sure. That's yours. I'm on a 6.
I'll go to 10 with Necrotic Decay. He has no hard to kill, right?
Wonderful. Nope.
Cool. We'll take 2 damage. Pink, pink. Which will
That
splash
black
1 on
bloods.
everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. And actually, I only think we need to take 1 damage. Yeah, we only need to take 1. Because the
Okay.
1 plus 3 will splat patch him. Okay. Cool.
And it
That's pretty
begins.
I'm going to do Life from Blood. Goes off. And we are going
It's fine. I'll go and read it.
This is the
Ah,
Summon
nice.
Terror Tot ability
Okay.
when models die from Black
and
Blood.
then we will slap Aspiring Student 1.
Now this is where, if he does get a tot
He
here,
says no.
which he should,
I'm going to pay the cost for the trigger and fail.
Yep.
You each take 1.
So even though he doesn't get the actual ability off,
Cool.
it
Done.
doesn't really matter.
Yep.
And now he has to decide: am I going with Aspiring Student to move him, or am I going to let?
Aspiring Student 1 is going to try and disengage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gets a G.
Am I going to let him get a Terror Tot?
18.
2 and 8. Yeah, you can try and stop him on a straight.
Well,
Did you spay
no.
2?
Not as
Doesn't want
severe.
to. Well then,
Could have been huge.
charge. Nikima. In fact,
That's an 8-inch aura on
Right.
Hayridden, buddy.
we're gonna walk up to within 2, and then we're gonna punch her with falling rave kick,
Fair enough.
spending a G. So stat 5 against defense.
Bonus action
9
attacks are
retreat.
pretty OP.
8 actually.
7. I'll just spend a Chi to
So
make it
push
happen.
walk attack, wisely
No,
not
both your
taking
base
the
combat.
charge
You
action
do
because
flat 3 damage.
nope.
And then we both die.
Please. Oh,
I did not
okay,
get a
yeah.
ton out of it, which is lame.
He did pay attention to the 8
Okay,
at
he
least.
did.
That was the important part. I was a little worried there once he placed because that looked pretty close.
Yep.
Slightly scary. Yours?
So at this point, you're wondering how worth was how bad that death actually was, and honestly, it's not looking terrible.
Of course,
I
people will
mean,
assume that
Young
goes
Money
out.
hovering over there, seeing all those corpse markers. Like, don't get me wrong, he's losing 2 points on the schemes, but if he gives up outflank, but I think at this point he just kind of has to give up outflank
And at this
and
point,
then try to deny the last 2 points of the strategy to his opponent.
we are still at a 0-0 game, right? There's
Correct. No
no
one
points on the
scored us
board
any points.
anywhere.
We're on to turn 3.
Because
And
this is Malifaux, where killing models is more important than scoring victory points.
let's actually, yeah. I wholly agree with this method of play. This is my main method of playing Malifaux. You know what? Let me try to get open another.
Yeah, this game just did not go well.
I mean, that is just the nature of this
Think
matchup
about
too,
this.
right? Like, Nekima always wants
In
to
order
deny via
for
killing
me
things, and Fuhatsu also forces that style of game.
to
So
win friends and influence people.
there are other matchups on this strategy where killing's not the answer, but in this instance it
The
definitely is.
likelihood that I kill you is immensely low.
So he's debating going for the outflank
What's he
still. And I think that play's not a bad play, obviously, because it really makes it hard for him to score
That makes the most sense.
the strategy.
I failed. That's the proper call.
But
Okay. We're gonna go with Mature Nephilim.
I really don't like where he's placed, trying to place him.
No, we're going to charge.
Because as you're saying, he can get right in between Fuhatsu and the strategy.
So.
Okay.
And
I'm tired of you shooting.
yeah, I mean,
like this
with the new
better
rules of
because
Towards and Away, though, you can throw him
Yeah.
like completely sideways. So
Exactly.
that's true.
Yeah.
But even completely
Even in
sideways,
the-
he heats
even
the
in the
house,
s-
and I think he still has 2-inch engagement range.
Yeah, well,
And that
Someday
crater's
my Mature Nephilim hopes to
severe.
land in
The
That
crater
he's in,
is
so that
severe.
scatter
Good.
is
it
reduced.
will not be this day.
So that might be good
Well,
enough.
Defense 4 is pretty difficult to connect with.
It's gonna be close, and it's making me
I really
nervous
don't
that,
quite
like,
know what I want to do.
Andre's
Do I just give up
expecting
the strap
to be
points?
denying the scatter and
I
isn't
think
gonna
so.
get it with some close measuring, but see.
I mean, the real answer is Shen Long just goes and kicks him away. But nah, he's gonna do the smart thing
Yeah.
and go for the victory point. Victory
Yeah.
point and a
Shenlong's gonna
possible
attach Wandering.
young Nephilim kill.
Okay.
The monk at
Because
the
he's
top
gonna
can
have
get another cheat.
his push from his bonus action if he wants it, and
He's
then
gonna
walks
make
over,
the
throws,
aspiring student for bonus
charge.
action.
Okay.
Goes off. The
Or
aspiring
he
is
does
gonna spend
something
its chi to
else.
push him.
Yep.
Goes off. We'll push to here. Sorry, we should have got chi as well. We're gonna walk.
Oh, that's what he did.
We'll
He got the
charge you.
aspiring student to push Shen Long.
Okay.
Okay, I see it.
It's
That's
better to
the way he's
charge
doing
him
it.
to try and push you away or shoot you.
I'm not sure if I
Let's just stick
appreciate
too
the
risky.
charge here,
No, I've got 3 stones. Let's do it. I'll take a
but
swing on you.
In ignoring the strategy, you mean?
yeah, it's
18.
definitely a play. I mean, he knows Andre
11.
doesn't really have cards. He only got the one he recently drew, and he can kill.
No cheat.
He can kill it. But if he doesn't kill it, then
In fact, no, I will spend a chi. I'll go to a 20.
no.
Okay. Oh, we'll go to 17.
Okay. Neg.
Yep.
2.
Flash
Take
1.
1.
Shen Long's gonna kill
Chi.
himself
Last
just
attack.
to kill
I'll
this
swing again.
model.
Burns his focus.
19.
Oh,
Oof.
burn focus into the black
5.
Joker.
I
Man,
will spend a chi. Chi down
yeah,
by
hate
equal.
to see that.
So
Savage.
12. So it's a straight. For 3 damage.
Your
Right,
damage
okay.
isn't killing it.
Alright.
Putting
One.
Shen Long at 1 to 2 HP.
And then the onslaught attack.
Yep.
17.
Yeah, onslaught attack is
And
hitting.
There we are.
And barring a
God, he's
black
flipping like a god
joker,
this game.
Kills you. I get
Yep.
chi. Go down to hard to kill, which is super scary.
Shenlong. Oh, nope.
Or
It's
just
not
die.
dead yet.
Too.
Yeah. Just,
Alright. Can the Blood
Just do
Hunter
it.
get
Does
over there?
yeah.
Almost
I think
certainly
so.
not, but, you know, it'd be really funny if
Blood
this
Hunter,
two-stone
stay healing.
totem actually can get
Or-
over there and kill him.
What's the fastest way? Yeah, it's probably just.
At the same
It is
time,
6-inch
if it
move.
gets over
6.
close enough, yeah, and even if it's their next turn,
I don't think he gets away.
It just needs to black blood bleed on him.
Well, that
yeah,
barely
And then
close.
every
he
time
can
you do
be.
that,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All he has to
and
do
that's
is get
really
there and regurgitate.
given
Yeah.
that more credit than I think it deserves. Also, I can just place after the walk better. So
I think he might be able to get here if he actually takes the time to get
my
the
goal is to
proper
get
angle
to
from the first walk.
I can accomplish my goal in any number of ways.
Because he can make it so that he doesn't clip the forest for that long. And 6 inches of movement's a
Um,
lot of movement.
Okay, it's gonna be easier.
So
for me to
if Blood
figure
Hunter
out
gets here,
that.
and he's got Stampede, he's got Tusks on an attack if he can make it,
1,
and then he can
2, 3,
regurgitate
4, 5,
to
6.
Black Blood himself. How many
All right. Do you
stones?
agree that
Are you
that
willing to
piece
spend
of
all 3 stones
leaf
on
will not cost me
Shenlong to
more
keep him
than
alive
an
here?
inch of movement?
Which one? Sorry. The
There's-
forest.
Yeah. There's like a speck of leaf that I'm running over on this chart.
Ah, see, this is
It
one of the
depends
interesting
whether it's
things
the base or the leaf.
on whether or not the
I've always played it
terrain
leaves,
is
but
the leaves or the base, because this is something
I
that
tend
comes
to
up
play
a
it the base,
lot
but we'll
and
see. Does a judge want to chime
isn't
in?
really, yeah.
Which we should be doing.
This is your area of expertise.
This is
Basically,
me.
is
I'm
it
gonna
that,
mute
like,
myself out of the
blackish bit
commentary and I'll
under
be right back.
the forest, or is it
No,
just
I
the
got your
actual,
mute.
like, depiction of the tree?
right. Oh, Kathos, you in here?
Yeah, I'm coming in. So the question is whether you're measuring the base of the terrain or the tree of the terrain, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
correct.
Um, let me take a look at this. And when Shenlong got over here, he was out of both tree and base, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think based on the terrain rules in GG, I've got to rule it that the base is what counts.
Okay.
Thank you. I feel like we should play every game with just a judge on hand.
Right.
This is one of the decisions that
So
really
does that
does
mean
differ
that if
on who
you're
you're playing
standing
with.
here, does that not count as in the terrain because the leaf is over the base?
Correct.
Okay.
Wait, what was the question?
The question was because only base count, not leaf count, are these leaves over the base count?
So yeah, in that case, counting the outline of the terrain piece is the only thing that would matter. So any leaves that are extending over it are not going to count for any of its terrain features.
Got it. Okay, cool. Learn something new every day. Let's, with that being the case,
I think he might still be able to get into Shenlong if he just goes a little bit
those getting
further
so
to get a
roasted.
different angle
Let's
across the bottom of the base. I think that's going to be a close
1,
call.
2,
That
3,
is
4,
technically still
5,
possible.
6.
Yeah,
Nothing too exciting. I could
that's
just
a
like
rough
run
one, and this is
Haku,
something
but
that
card's discard
for the
is really
series we
pointless
probably need to
because
clarify in the future. There is some
Haku.
inconsistencies in how these terrain pieces look.
Yeah.
Um,
As long as I feel the Blood Hunter can
I
go
traditionally
nowhere.
play just both because if you just play what the piece actually looks like on Vassal, then it's fine. But it does definitely lead to like some weird instances where, especially with like
Yeah.
where it dangles out, you're like, oh, I'll hide in this little cover area where
6.
it's just
Nope,
curling
there's
around
nothing
instead of
here.
actually
Do I want
being
to
in
threaten
it.
Shenlong? If I don't threaten Shenlong and he has just like free reign
And
of the
then I've
strategy,
definitely played games
that's bad.
where
So I
my
should threaten
opponent's
Shenlong.
like, oh, look,
That's
you're barely touching the leaf.
wise
That
call,
means
even if the
you're drawing through
terrain
concealing, and
isn't.
now you can't obey your own
1,
targets.
2,
And I'm like,
3,
okay, thanks.
4, 5, 6.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. We'll puke up a corpse suffering 2 damage. Give me a soul stone,
Okay. Let's see the black.
please. Okay.
Yep.
That would be so gratifying. Anyway, Blood Hunter's done.
So you're all done now. Wandering number 3 is going to try and leap.
Yep.
Oh, well,
This
he
was
fails.
definitely
Walk
still
up,
the right
Mhm.
move. And
coming just up to the marker.
starting with the Blood Hunter next turn is
Oh.
going to
Score the first point of the game.
sort of be needed,
Cool.
which is going to be a hard sell, but
Aspiring student number 2.
chance of
Sketchy.
taking Shenlong
Yep.
out is there.
Mhm.
I mean,
Gonna
Or at
I'm
least
gonna
burning
I'm
through
gonna
those
just say
stones.
this. I'm pretty sure
assuming
our
I can
Shenlong opponent
pull
was
out
also
this way.
doing
Yeah,
Outflank.
you can.
Is going to be my guess. So I'm not surprised if this is going to just be a really low
Soul stone
scoring
of
game.
Crying.
Still, Fuhatsu's still in engagement. Oh nope,
Lost into there, and we'll
just
concentrate. to
perfectly
touch you
putting him
back.
outside.
Cool.
This
So
is
it's
the
just
effort he was taking.
Yeah. Equitable with any other 9-stone model.
Yeah, all the same.
More hate on
We'll unload
Fuhatsu.
into your mature.
Yep.
16. Well, actually,
13.
I'll take the 13 for crit.
13 out of 13. 3 take. Go ahead.
3 damage.
Cool.
Shoot him again.
Mm-hmm.
17.
8.
Oof.
Straight flip. Go ahead.
Blast isn't going to hit anything. 4 damage.
Takes it.
Oh,
And then we go into
rapid
turn.
fire.
Oh, there's
stone
the
for a
rapid
ram.
fire.
Cool.
Let's go for the risk.
Mm-hmm.
16.
And he
18.
does
Oh,
not get it.
punished. Punished
Nice.
super hard.
That's a pretty huge stone because Shenlong's over there
Wonderful.
on 1 HP.
Deadly
Yep.
pursuit on this monk.
It's going to be
Mhm.
very easy for that Blood Hunter. He just has to hit once now. Granted, Shenlong's sitting with like 8G, so
So I
hitting's
scored
not
one.
exactly easy, but
Cool.
You score anything?
Nope.
I mean, the Blood Hunter doesn't even need to be hit. He just needs to.
Jesus
He just needs.
Christ.
Yeah, he just being hit's not even that necessarily bad. Because if you get that Soul Stone
Sure.
out anywhere else on this map, then it's just gone, and Shenlong's stuck at 1 HP.
Yep. The problem now is that if he does start with the Blood Hunter,
Initiative.
then
Yep.
and that Mature
Mature
Nephilim's
does.
dead.
No, he definitely has to go win initiative,
Cheat
and
first, so we'll do that.
oh,
13
only
total.
cheating a 9.
Fine.
Recalculate. I have
Oh, because he has
3,
all the
you
pass
have
tokens in the
He's got
world.
pass
use
tokens.
Got it.
Bastion.
Right.
Oh, he's coming down.
Yeah, proud of myself.
Isn't that useful? All your models die. You get initiative.
It's the best way to win the game.
I mean, it did. This goes back to
mattered.
when he killed the 2 models to get activation control,
Do I
where
activate the Blood
those
Hunter
pass
and kill
tokens don't need
Shenlong
to be needed.
irrevocably, or do I activate the Mature Nephilim and not die as fast?
See, the problem with activating the Blood Hunter is I feel like you can not kill. Like that's very possible. You're stat 4 against a model that has 6 chi on him. Like I don't think you could ever justify going with the Blood Hunter. It's one of
That's a
those
tough
things
decision
where
for me.
you just want them to.
I really need Shenlong dead, but I also really need Fuhatsu not gun down. I'm sure. I hate that model. Let's.
I think that because there's no way of guaranteeing the damage on Blood Hunter.
If all
He
Shenlong
can't
does-
suffer
oh,
2
man.
damage.
Yeah.
Right.
It really is just 4 attacks and Oh no,
That's
he
not
would
gonna
be able
score.
to because he
That's
will
really
breed
not
Gen
gonna
1,
score.
so
No.
he could get it out.
Can't do anything about it.
So I guess the most
This
guaranteed
is
way of him
so
killing him
roasted. Is there anything else you would do though?
would be to disengage charge him.
Yeah.
To get that Stampede damage is how he would actually try to kill him with Blood Hunter. And that's no, I definitely see it if you do it like that, but I almost feel it's not worth it. Because if Mature dies, I don't think he has
Okay.
anything else to win the game with.
We just have
No, I
to
think
somehow hope and pray that your cards are so bad. Blood Hunter activates. Regions.
Wow.
He's doing it.
Starts by spending 2 health and puking up a corpse.
No!
But no other way of
No!
auto triggering.
He doesn't see it.
Do you? Oh, you can't anyway. You're on 1 health. We'll stone.
Yep.
Oof.
He could.
And then he's gonna try and take a bite out of Shenlong.
All he had to do is back to disengage and then charge.
Spend a chi. You're stat 4, aren't you?
And then he would not only get the
19.
stampede, he would get the stampede
Missed, try again.
damage, and then I guess then he'd still be at the same point. Never mind, I'm
Okay.
bad.
Chi, so
Same
I'm
point where he
15.
couldn't suffer 2
Missed,
damage
done.
anymore to do the 1
I
damage.
misplayed that.
Right.
I forgot about
Makes sense.
needing health to stampede.
And
Okay,
he says it
the
right
game,
there.
That's okay, there wasn't much of a game to throw. Go
That
ahead.
was.
Just to
He noticed the exact same problem.
Yep.
15.
18.
That's gonna miss. Shoot you again.
And then I was about to say the mature could just live, and then that happens.
20. I can go.
So
I can't cheat because you're red. Yep.
the game just
kick flip,
ends.
Go ahead.
Crit strike.
Game just
Done.
ends. I really don't see anything
Discard
else
a
he can
card,
do.
rapid fire into Hayward.
I think it was
Straight.
definitely the biggest misplay to go with
15.
Bloodhunter first. Even if you kill
Yeah.
Shenlong, I don't
17.
feel like it's worth it
Misses.
because
Don't feel the need to juggernaut. So we're done.
I mean he just doesn't really have many
Ooh.
ways to gain health
I only
anyways.
have 1 significant model on the table, so I can't score that, and I don't have that, so I can't score that. He's not getting out of melee. I will score 0 points for the game. What would you like to score?
And it
You wanna
looks
call
like
it.
we're just getting
Yeah.
it called.
I think I'd probably pick up the rest of the strat.
The rest of, yeah.
And then it's
Yeah, because Shenlong easily
Well,
scores
Shenlong
the rest
data,
of the
so you can't kill the
strategy.
Blood Hunter unless I'm missing something.
Yeah. And this is why
You
normally
could
just
use Dragon's Light. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
this
So
is normally
assuming
why
that
you just play it
happens,
through.
what's your other
But
point?
it does look like Shenlong can just move him.
You could also
throughout
have
the
the smart
strategy.
student walk up and just 4 winds punch the Blood Hunter away. We'll assume that happens because that's fine. At that point, Shenlong runs the second point of the strategy, which point you can get the third point of the strategy and call that. Schemes. Hello?
Did we lose
Hello?
Ollie?
It looks like we kind of did. Which, honestly, not terrible timing. But we're going to be held in suspense on what his schemes were. Yeah, I really think it was just the biggest misplay to go with Bloodhunter first. That hurt.
I'll wait for Ollie to get back, I guess.
But, you know.
We'll get 3 for the strategy. Has he declared any schemes at all? He might have Vendetta. No. Well, probably.
It's pretty.
Point diff doesn't really matter much in this tournament, so winning is all that really matters.
It's going to matter once you get to the knockout stage, because if you end up at a tie game, it's going to be going to the person with the better.
That's all you need.
It's going to be going to the person with the better.
After 2 revisions of errata.
Overall diff.
And still
Yeah,
fix
exactly.
Like this. I don't.
That's fair.
Kind of like
That is a brutal thing that we have to do
everything around it. Like
because we can't just have them constantly keep replaying games until they don't tie. But yeah, that's a fair point.
I misplayed that,
where it basically changes
I should have
that a tie is now a win for your opponent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hit him. You can go to pin 7. He's got butterfly jump. No,
Yeah.
it's not a tile. I could have threatened him, but I wasn't going to do anything.
Carnage is working out why.
I guess he just sat here and got shot to death anyway.
Sorry, I'm back.
Congratulations. What schemes are you running?
I
assume
do
the
like
aspiring
that
student's
his
going to 4 winds punch my Blood Hunter out of melee, at which point Shenlong can get the second and then third points for the strategy. What are your schemes? Hello?
You lose him again?
You really just DC again?
I'm gonna jump back into that channel and help out here.
Alright, I'll mute you.
Someday I'll get to find out what he took for schemes.
Hey, Andre, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm gonna.
So I think
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
on 4 points total.
What were your
You
schemes?
hear that?
What
Just
were your
keep
schemes,
cutting
Ollie?
out. Oh.
What were your schemes? I'll just Discord message him. This is getting ridiculous.
Uh,
Damn, if I could have drawn this game out, he might have just DC'd. I know. Darn me and my game playing fast.
It is nice that this is only an hour and a half game.
On the bright side, I'll probably get attacker next game.
I wasn't planning on having lunch really this time, but
So when I die
now
to
I actually get to go
Seamus,
eat.
then I can feel like I had some. Okay, cool. What were your schemes though?
How about now?
There we go.
Right, let's see if it holds. I was saying I had Vendetta, Fuhatsu, Hayridden.
Yeah, you'll get that. I don't. What's his
I
turn?
think I get 1 point because this is turn 4, right?
Okay.
So I think I get 1 point for that and 3 for strat. And then
What
I
was
had
your
Catch
scheme?
and Release on Wandering Monk number 1.
You have
Because,
what? Oh, okay. Catch
I had
release.
Catch and Release on the monk you killed turn 1.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had catch release on the mature, and I had outflank.
Oh, interesting on the mature.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting. I assumed you would have Vendetta of either Hayridden or
I'm
mature on Fuhatsu,
really
or
shocked he didn't
Sensei
have
Yu.
breakthrough.
I didn't think I was gonna be
Interesting.
able to beat through the 6 stones fast enough. I should have done that,
Yeah.
but I did not. Yeah, if I had done that, I admired it. I was gonna like try and just keep Fuhatsu contained, but that whole strategy is a joke.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, with Shenlong pushing, it's pretty tough.
So it looks like we're calling the
Yeah.
game at 4-0.
So yeah, so it's a crispy 4-0. Congratulations.
Yeah. Fun game.
It's pretty.
Super
Fucked
It was
duper.
a
up
rough
for not
game,
killing
but
Nikima
all
on
of
that
that
turn.
aggression at the
I
start
messed up
definitely kept
by
the
putting
diff
my shaman
lower
where
than
I
it
thought he was safe.
could have,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
That was tough.
That was a big mistake. What are the big mistakes I make? I always make mistakes in scheme
I
select.
think
I should have gone Vendetta.
I think
just
should we
thought Vendetta
unmute
would be
ourselves and
movable, I
maybe
should
try
just
to
try
talk
and
to them on
run around the
Discord,
map
see
not
if they
getting
want to see
shot.
anything?
But the answer is you must center your
Um,
entire game plan around diving and killing Fuhatsu, because if you
They're
don't,
kind of
Sure,
doing it
let's,
already, but yeah.
I hate that model.
yeah, let's just let them
believe
talk and
that
be quiet,
they've
and then we can
managed
do
to
a
go through
wrap
2
up
erratas where
afterwards.
that model's
Yeah.
not nerfed. They're willing to nerf everything but Fuhatsu. I'm convinced that like Kyle's girlfriend is named Fuhatsu and he just can't nerf her. I have no other explanation for why that model is still what it's doing. Anyway,
I feel
hope
it's
kids
yeah.
post
I do think
videos
crit
they watch
strike
will
on
still
food.
be-
Yeah.
I mean, if they do, my suggestion is always just put numbskull on him.
God,
Yeah,
that's big.
that's a pretty common suggestion
like,
I
I
hear.
think just
Numbskull and
solves it, so
Fuhatsu
he's,
is a
like-
And
pretty
it's
huge nerf.
flavorful.
Fuhatsu
It's
getting
so
It is.
flavorful.
is ridiculous. But if you just like, I don't know, I feel like
I think it
needs
would
to
be too
miss
much of a
something
nerf.
else.
I think if you're putting
I don't know
Numbskull
what
on
it
him,
is,
you
but it
almost
needs to
gotta
miss
move him to
something
8
else.
soul stones.
I don't think so. I think no conditions brings him much more in line with
Losing a
his
whole
class.
action and then never being able to ever
Because then he's
reliably
not getting the
get straight
focus, so he's
flips.
not able to spike for damage.
Yeah.
Right, but most of the games that I've played into Fuhatsu haven't actually been focus spam. It's been, all right, cool, I'm just going to top deck. Oh, you're in cover? Perfect.
Yep.
And then they just flip like 12 cards for damage, and one of
And
them's the
then
red
Okay.
yep, and then search for the red Joker. That sums up my game I just
which-
played.
has been super consistent. Yeah, most of the times I see Fuhatsu on the table, people don't hand him focus or fast or anything like that. He just sits there and goes until he
Interesting.
finally.
Yeah, because normally you see
Because
Fuhatsu
I
and
wouldn't take
Mizaki
him
now
unless
and
I had
every
a
other
crew
10th
that
on his list.
can
But I
buff
really
him
think it's
easily
not nearly
around
as bad as
and
Karn's
actually get
making
the
out to
most
be.
out of him.
If he just didn't miss
He's so
position his one
self-sufficient, though. I mean,
model,
as long as you're not near any like
Mm.
blocking terrain that
then
would stop scatter from getting him out of engagement, like you're good.
I
Like,
think he's
Fuhatsu
he's
camps out
definitely
right here, I
allowed
can't stop
the
him.
Fuhatsu salt after
oh yeah,
a
oh
4-0 in
by
this series, though.
without a doubt.
I'd be sad
Everyone,
too.
I
Alright,
think
cool.
we've
Well, I'll
seen
leave you
this
to
model
record it.
so fucking much
Good
that
game.
everyone's allowed Fuhatsu salt.
I mean, I would. My bet is that everybody's rooting for
Yeah,
Andre
catch and
this
release is
game
also
just
a
because
weak point
Fuhatsu's on the
of Fuhatsu.
table. Like, poor
God, I
Ali,
hate
but
that
he has
model.
no
Why
supporters
is that
except
model
for
allowed?
exactly his meta.
Alright, I'm just gonna ask them if they want to talk with us on the live stream.
Cool.
Or if he just wants to just like go chill and rest after his game.
Yeah, do it.
If you really yeah, alright. So I'm gonna come in and unmute myself. I'm always amped to hear some Fuhatsu hate. So, anything you guys want to mention to the live stream while we're still doing this and the future
Sure.
recording?
Hey guys, go to Warzone in Houston. It's going to be from September 24th to 26th. It's going to be a Malifaux GT with a hardcore henchman on that Friday. I hate Fuhatsu, and I think he should have been nerfed 2 revisions ago. And that really is it. Like, he hired, what is it, 44 stones of stuff, and the only 9 stones that really mattered was Fuhatsu, and the rest of the crew enabling Fuhatsu to be Fuhatsu. It's how Nikima died, it's how my Mature died, it's how my Black Blood Shaman died. The rest of the crew managed to deal, I think, like 6 points of damage to Nikima. Not 9, 9, because she regens. So yeah, 9 points of damage was Nikima, or was not Fuhatsu to Nikima. And then the Charm Mortar, I think, did like 3, and the rest of it. Yeah, Fuhatsu can just single-handedly carry a table, which is in line with the other 9 stone models that can single-handedly carry the table. I know that we almost nerfed Hinamatsu because she, of course, is almost in every Neverborn crew and single-handedly carries the table. What are other versatile 9 stone henchmen that really just you can plop in regardless of context? Let me think about this. So what? Oh yeah, Mr. Nagatoro. I mean, yeah, as soon as that guy hits the table, you know you have to play your whole game around Nagatoro. Yeah, so my point is this dude needs to be nerfed, and they're really gun shy about nerfing him for some reason. They'll nerf everything around him. They'll nerf Sun Quang. They'll nerf, what was the other thing that handed out focus? Oh, Tanuki. They will nerf everything except actually Fuhatsu, and I really don't understand why.
Yeah, Tanuki. I actually feel bad for Tanuki because those models sucked and they don't deserve to be worse. But the focus change overall I think was pretty great and was a small nerf to Fuhatsu. A pretty decent nerf actually I think, but
Yeah,
yeah,
except that he still has,
he's still such a commanding presence.
yeah. Well, if he was like 11 stones or something, because writers have about like the same presence on a table, right? Where you pretty much have to worry about that writer, or it could end the game for you. But the flip side of that coin is that writers are not as tanky as Fuhatsu, have less threat range than Fuhatsu, and short of actually getting their bonus actions off turn 3, deal less damage than Fuhatsu. The
Yeah,
only thing that they don't do, that he doesn't, that they do, is mobility. But I mean, when you have 12 range affecting the table anyway, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Um, yeah, the riders are definitely a little bit more player roundable than Fuhatsu. I don't know. I tend to actually do pretty well against Fuhatsu, and especially recently with the only 2 focuses because he's really hitting you min 2, maybe min 3 when they luck all the rams onto you. But I mean, the big reasons, I think there's a couple things that um, the towards and away helps Fuhatsu a decent amount as well because it's
that
a
was
lot
huge.
harder to tie him up.
Yeah.
But I do think you had a couple options of tying up Fuhatsu on round 2 instead of attacking him with like Hayride, and if you just like threw the strat marker behind one of your models, they just would not have been able to push him out with scatter anymore.
That's an interesting idea. I also considered throwing the marker up for just like concealment or something.
Yeah,
At the
that
end of the day, what I should
was
have done round 2 was put the mature in the crater. I shouldn't have moved Harridan up. I should have just put the mature in the crater, at which point he will, of course, still get out of melee because of the students, but at least it's not all in his own turn.
Hmm.
right,
Um,
and there is some resistance that can happen to it as well.
yeah, the other part of that is I shouldn't have taken catch and release. Like, the only model I was really going to be next to the whole game was Fuhatsu, and he will not be engaged at the end of the activation. So I don't think that was the right call for me. I didn't really think Breakthrough was going to be it either. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I should have done here, just because the map is a little bit open enough. Like, theoretically, this map should be primo anti-Fuhatsu tech, right? Like, a bunch of blocking, high height buildings everywhere should be what Fuhatsu does not like. But
And
it
then there's
didn't.
just that one height 2 building.
Yes.
Yeah, I got hurt by that a lot in my game, where I'm like, oh, I'll put a goo behind this height 2 building. It's like I just see it, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, you do.
That height
Yeah, and
2
you had
building
that. You had
really
that.
determined my choice of deployments.
You really had
Yeah.
that 0.1 inch from being in the shadow of the building, and then it's so close, and you just kind of lost your model.
Yep.
Although, if that damage was put onto Nekoma instead, then Nekoma might have just died.
Yes and no. I mean, she drops down to lower health. That's true. But that's the kind of things you have to account for with 9 stone models single-handedly ending your master. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I mean, hiring Maurice is a stupid idea. We have no actual counterattack for that. I can't put stealth on anything because I'm not in 10 Thunders, heaven forbid. Like, there's not really like an answer I have to that model, other than just like trying to dive him and kill him. But by doing that instead of, trying to score, I lose. The only thing that made this game a 4-point differential instead of more is that I was able to take out both of his monks in that initial secondary or that second turn Nikima activation.
Yes, that was definitely delicious to watch.
But it cost me 5 cards to do it because I couldn't flip moderate.
I think the only other thing I would have said really for at least the unpacking on how turn 1 and turn 2 went was if you were going to hide Hayren behind the building, I don't understand why you saved him for last activation and not Nekoma, because then Fuhatsu could have never shot Nekoma, and Nekoma comes in at full wounds every time on turn 2. Wait,
Yeah, that was a goofy decision on my part. My initial thinking was that I wanted him further up the board, and I didn't want him to get shot while doing it. So I was like, oh, I'll move Nikima up. She'll take some shots, but she's got regen, and hopefully cover, and then he can move up unabated to get into a good position for next turn. And then I just completely ignored that and put him behind a building. So I agree with that.
yeah, that happens.
I think that was a goofy decision on my part. So yeah, moving forward, paying better attention to what size Fuhatsu is. Um, I will just discard any and all information about Bayou and just memorize Fuhatsu's stat line. And that should win me more games overall. Yeah, I have nothing else to say at the moment. I'm still in the ocean spray of salt, and I don't want to say anything that.
It's too out there.
Yeah.
I think you're handling it very well.
Yeah, no,
frankly.
honestly, I think you're handling it perfectly fine. I was curious about one thing, and maybe I just remember this wrong or completely messed up. When you were trying to grow one of because you could have grown one of the young Nephilims into a mature on the turn 2 using the dead body, couldn't you? Have?
No, because he didn't already have a grow token.
Oh, because you didn't hand him one on turn 1?
Correct. Yeah, they need 2.
Yeah, then I just missed that. I just assumed, I guess, that you handed him one turn 1. I was trying to do a couple of setup things that I just missed a little bit of the unpacking.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
watching one of those youngs die to the Wandering River Monk was pretty painful.
Yeah, that was great.
That was sad. That was sad.
Yeah, that was. I just couldn't commit more to that flank is really the problem. Well, because once again, I foolishly picked catch and release on the mature. If I hadn't picked catch and release on the mature, I would have gleefully, joyfully just flung him into that corner to box the Wandering River Monk. But I was
Yep.
like, well, there's a chance that Fuhatsu won't be engaged, and that was stupid. That was not a right call. So I think in retrospect, the things that I should have done is not pick catch and release to start things off because I'm not going to score it. The other thing that I should have done is pick Vendetta because basically this whole
Yep.
game would have changed if I could have just said, "All right, screw it. Everything else can go to hell. Fuhatsu has to die or I lose this game."
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I
That's.
now he had he had the Low River Monk in the back, and Fuhatsu's got Juggernaut, and so there's a lot of hard to wound and armor and stone use, which is of course par for 9 stone models, will be making that a long road to hoe. But it's either that or die. So I guess I should do that in the future. Because realistically, if Fuhatsu's taken out of the picture, the damage goes away. Like Shenlong can punch me a lot, but he's going to be for like 2 and 3 points damage at a time into Black Blood. Fuhatsu's the only real problem child where I'm like, all right, cool. If he goes, people die. Like Shenlong, 2 to 3 at a time. Sensei Yu, he can get up to min 4 if you stoned for it and flipped it, but that's not happening. And more often than not, I think good for laugh is going to be what he picks anyway. And then the Charm Order, like a 1, 2, 3 flip, like whatever.
No,
Uh,
that was almost exactly what I was expecting you to do. I expected you to have like Vendetta on Hayridden with Hayridden on either on Fuhatsu or Sensei Yu. Try to just get the guaranteed Vendetta with Black Blood at one point. Probably lose the second point because Hayridden dies, but
yeah,
if Hayridden's dying and not a mature or Nekoma, you're kind of also fine with that. And then just try to get breakthrough after you kill everybody. And when I saw like the 3 strategy markers on one half of the board, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I saw you go for outflank, and I'm like, oh, this seems risky.
yeah. Outflank was not the right call either. Yeah, I knew that I was going to mess up at scheme select. That's why I spent so long staring at it. And then I messed up anyway.
Yeah, the more you stare at it, the worse it gets sometimes.
Yeah. And realistically, I'm just scarred with all my previous encounters with Fuhatsu, in which I throw my whole crew at him and he lives and wipes out a mature turn. And so that's kind of what I was expecting. What also wasn't great was the mature not being able to top deck into defense 4.
Yeah, that definitely hurt a lot.
4 wasted mature AP is pretty not great overall, I would say. But I don't know if I could have just like started beating up on him with Nekima, but I feel like he had enough healing, and Shenlong's just like right there. He'd be like, "Oh, cool, I was switching to low style. Hey, look, Watsu's still at full health." Um, the yeah, the whole experience of trying to kill Fuhatsu with a decent stone cache, his defensive suite, the healing in the back, the pushes in the back. Uh,
No,
like
I think you
I'm
had it though at one point. Like if you weren't going for outflank and you were more centered on, I think the fact that Nekima got in there was able to pop the low river monks, and you got in there with Hayridden and did all the amazing black blood damage, and you're leading Charm Order to have a pretty sad life in a little future. And even though Fuhatsu and Shenlong were able to get out like a good amount of damage, I felt like if your 2 youngs were actually participating in the fight, you had just a couple more damage to fully swing it so that Shenlong would be dead, Charm Order would probably be dead, and the Fuhatsu can't kill like 3 models. Well, actually he can't, but
he totally can.
unlikely that Fuhatsu can then kill 3 models and secure the game. And then you could have just tried to score the strat once he's tabled and the points, but
Yeah, I
nah,
agree with that.
it's a hard decision. It's one where you really have to go in, and then things happen like matures just missing stat 6 for stat 4 on every flip.
Yeah.
So what is the right scheme call if that's the plan then? Because in some ways this pool is forcing you to go wide with one of your schemes unless you double
Yeah.
up on keeping models alive
So
with Vendetta catch.
the right call, in my opinion, is going to be not lose your shaman to stupid placement. Pick
Yeah.
catch and release on him, and then you just absolutely have to dive bomb the crap out of Fuhatsu with Vendetta for
Sure.
Hayridden. So your 2 schemes are going to be catch and release and Vendetta. You're going to hope to score catch and release on Sensei Yu or Shenlong because you will never score it on Fuhatsu. But once you get Vendetta down, um, sure, Hayridden's probably going to go to hell in a handbasket, but at least the rest of your crew is surviving long enough to get things going. The other thing that I should have done is just when I throw youngs, I should have thrown them at Fuhatsu because defense 4 is their ideal love-making target. And just didn't take advantage of that. So yeah, if I had died Fuhatsu, I probably would have done a little bit better. It's a question of does he have enough BS and healing to counteract me just trying to dump damage into one model to determine the game.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a close question, especially if assuming all this and you still get the 2 kills on the Wandering River monks, because I mean it's pretty reliable 2 kills. Um,
Well, if
then
I didn't have kings and red in hand, I'm not sure I could connect with him.
that's
Like
true.
stat 7 on stat 7 is not consistent, and I still need to get the straight flip to actually deal moderate.
Yeah, cause yeah. I mean, yeah. That is how it ends up having to be. I mean, you can leave them at like the mins aren't terrible if you're within black blood range, and then you just have to go
Right, but I'm
again,
gonna have
but
to chase them down on every attack, which is really the issue
yeah.
with butterfly jump as well.
There's also the issue that if the plan is to take Fuhatsu down, but you have to dump, you also to do that have to dump your entire hand into killing support models. That's pretty
Yeah,
tough.
I think there's definitely if I think there's a pretty good logic where if he dumped that whole hand when because he had a pretty good hand, it was like Red Joker and a couple of like
Kings, yeah.
13s, yeah. Then he might have actually just been able to just fully commit onto Fuhatsu, and then there just would not have been enough healing in one activation to then not kill him again with the mature afterwards. But stones and all that, and it's a hard decision. And if you don't kill him, then you most likely lose because he'll heal him back up, and then you spend all your resources for nothing.
Yep.
And
But you are
it's
doing more damage on average than they're healing.
Usually.
Yeah.
Since Shenlong, if he is on one wound, Shenlong can heal Fuhatsu to full. That's just something he's capable of.
Yeah, over a lot of activations.
No. One activation. Shenlong will go into low river style and throw 3 heals on him. Averages out at 3 health per heal.
Does it really average to 3 health per heal?
Yeah, it's a 2-3-4 heal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, fair.
Now that's
I
one
hate
massive
Shenlong,
activation.
but
Shenlong I don't have a problem with. It's Fuhatsu. Like Shenlong with this kit is fine as long as he's staying perfectly in keyword, but as soon as Fuhatsu hits the table, everything he does is insanely good.
yeah, see, I very much have the opposite problem as you do playing into Shenlong, but that's because we play two very different crews.
Yeah.
So we've talked enough about Fuhatsu and what Neverborn might have been able to done. You wanna tell us any of your big decision making moments you think, or how you feel?
I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it went. Whereas, I think the big thing for me was not killing Nakima when she dropped to 1 wound, and you know, it meant I had to spend loads more resources into her the next turn.
Yeah, that Black
And all I
Joker.
needed, it's not even the black. All I needed to do was stone for the ram on the next shot, and I would have had her, which was just me forgetting to do it on the second shot. It was still slightly risky, but yeah, I would have definitely done it. Thinking about it.
So
Um,
I was a little curious what because I've never really seen it before. 3 Wandering River Monks.
Yeah, I mean, I really like them into this strat, and I think they're actually pretty good choices into the Nephilim. So they're obviously really quick, move 6. I can give them fast if I need to. They've got a unsuited leap, which is kind of a clutch thing. It's not something I'm looking for every time. But the big thing is deadly pursuit and butterfly jump, and then chi. So as long as they're only being attacked a small number of times, then they're generally stat 7s.
True.
So it's actually quite hard for a mature to go through them if I've got a semi-decent hand. Nakima's the only one who's really like able to chew them up. So it was 100% the right move for Andre to like gun for 2 of them right at the start.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I was saying though is even though they do all these nice things, they do just die to a moderate Nekama or severe on the severe. But yeah, you're right. Those cheese being defense 7 is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, they struggle against ranged and they struggle against stat 7, in my view. They're only 5-point models. Like they're cheaper than his youngs for
Yes,
running around the board. So
and they can just 1 round the young apparently.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean if
It's
I still have
definitely
a
something
hand
you
and
should count on happening every game.
I don't. Hey, if you let's just say you decide to actually get their focus up because you can do that, and then it's really just you're spending the chi on stat 7s, and you don't
Yeah.
even need to spend the chi on stat 7s necessarily against the youngs because you're tied in stat, and then it's just a severe into a moderate.
That's fair.
So it's really I don't think it's that unreliable. So it is pretty brutal for the young Nephilims, and I mean I obviously that's why we don't see young Nephilims as much. I feel because they're so weak to these range attacks a good chunk of the time. I mean, they really just have no defensive tech. They're 7 wound models for 7 stones with regen 1 is their only thing that really is their saving grace.
I think the more important thing on that attack most of the time is for push. Having a stat 7 like push on a leaping cheap model can be really, really clutch for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, especially in this, especially when you have so much interacting that has to be done, and the strategy markers needing to be thrown around. Not that we really saw much of that, but it's definitely something that is a little threatening. And that's actually this goes back to a thing I mentioned during the stream that I'd like a little more input from Carnage. I guess is why did you decide to place the scheme marker instead of throwing the strat marker? You were just
Because if the Wandering River Monk activates and walks 6 inches, you will interact with it and then toss it over the center line because it cannot toss it straight back. So it's just a free point for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm actually curious about that because it does have to be fully over. So if it's all the way in the corner, is there really? Oh yeah, there is. It looks like there's almost nowhere to put it where it can't just be thrown fully over the center, unless I
Correct.
did that a little iffy. Yeah. Okay. I didn't actually know that. I thought it'd be close. I thought at best he could just deny it, not also score it.
No.
Ah, then there's the tricky part about putting it all the way in the corner, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, even if I was just denying it, at that point he was still better to sit, guard it, and have the scheme marker.
Well, the only reason I disagree with that is because of what happened, and it's a little bit looking in hindsight. Is that if he threw it and you have to go deny it, now you can't take 2 attacks into the young, and so now the young's living gets to regen and maybe
Maybe,
gets to
but
go in on your model first.
I don't think either of us were expecting the young
No,
to go down. Because if
no.
you had thrown it, there's depending on where you dropped it, there's a potential for me to leap double interact with it, or there's a lot of like uncertainty, and it just made it a bit easier for me. Whereas if he's got the scheme marker down, then it's AP efficiency for future turns.
Yeah, it really came down that it being in the corner really made this a little hard hampering because he couldn't throw it anywhere else. Because otherwise, I'm kind of in on the convince anytime you can get something to come towards your models that you want to be melee attacking, you're normally happy with that. But I guess all in all, they are stat 5 versus stat 7 if you want them to
It's
be.
also got a deadly pursuit afterwards that gives me a lot of options for how I want to get away from him.
True.
I think the riskiest play in my mind was having Shenlong go after that young. That could well have ended in me going down rather than him.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a little risky, but the payoffs were obviously huge. You fully deny all
Yeah.
scoring.
Yeah, it's a case of that looked like probably a game winner or making the game a lot harder for myself, whereas otherwise I could have just taken the turn to fully heal myself up.
Yeah, I
and
think
let
that's
him have some
definitely.
points. But
I think that's definitely one of the bigger problems. Is just that if the young is still alive, he definitely
yeah,
has a chance of threatening multiple different scoring angles for the potential schemes. Because for the whole game, we pretty much didn't know any of the schemes. I'm pretty sure you figured out he had outflank. I'm pretty sure,
yes.
but who knows what the
I
other
think
one was?
if I was a point or two ahead, I wouldn't have taken the risk. I'd have just sat there and healed and been ready to go again. But I didn't feel I had the luxury to do that.
Yeah, especially with all the corpse markers around. There's also the threat that he just becomes immature.
Mm,
I guess that would probably
not
take
when
2 turns almost always,
with
so
him
that's not great.
with him
But
sitting on that flank. It was very much a case of he was going to go and do the strat. I don't think he was going to go and become a mature. And that
Yeah,
was
I
really a
agree.
worry.
I mostly agree. I think yeah, especially at that point, there really is no other play for him besides going for the strat, I believe. Because he either needed to at turn 1, turn 2 commit to the all in or go for what he ended up going for, which is the outflanks and the more schemey style of play, which I really think that I think he might have got a little baited in by Alt Nekama. He's like, "Oh man, my time to scheme and interact. It's just a little bit further away.
I think the
Hopefully
scheme,
we see them soon."
yeah, I mean, I think doing the scheme game would have probably worked for him here. That's actually why I kind of clustered the markers down the bottom a bit, was just to give me a Fuhatsu firing base.
Yep. No, I think that was very smart. We were kind of talking about that as well. Is that building's height too, and that's really bad for that's really bad for everybody. You have to be within 2 inches of it, otherwise you're not getting the shadow, and now you're just Fuhatsu fodder.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go now. But
All right. Yeah, this
thanks
is
for
a good
recording the
place
game.
to end it. Thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thanks for the time, Ollie, and congratulations.
Yeah,
Thanks.
congrats.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. Any last words you want to say before I end the stream?
Not too much here. I guess keep paying attention to the YouTube channel for more of these games over the next 6 weeks. We'll try and post live streams in the official Weird channel, as well as on a Weird Place when they're going up, so that people can tune in if they do want to catch them live. But everything will go to our YouTube channel, so we're trying to record as many of these and preserve them for this event as possible. Um,
Yeah. I guess in that vein, later tonight, 2 a.m. Central, I believe, which is GMT -5, is going to be our game against. It's going to be Maniacal versus. Shoot, I don't remember who he's playing.
Axel
Axel,
ST.
yes,
Yep.
Maniacal versus Axel. I will be commentating that, and so we'll have a live stream then, as well as at the moment, I will also, I think, be commentating Pope DARPA's game, which is tomorrow noon Central Time. So again, GMT -5, and he's going to. I don't actually know who he's playing. I didn't ask. I just asked him when he was playing so I could cast it. Um,
Regardless, we'll make sure that there
yeah,
are posts for those up so people who are following along can do so. Give us feedback on the commentary. It's something we're interested in getting better at and including with as many of these as possible. So tell us if you like it, if you hate it, or if you want us to do something a little different.
yeah. I should have paid a few more attention to the. I'll try to pay more attention to the chat because I'm really not used to this, so we can get some more chat interactions and get actual questions answered,
Yep.
especially if it's about things that just happened. Um, as well as yeah, if you want us to turn up their volume so you can really listen to them. But I will also try to always include a recording of just their audio if you just want to watch the game without us talking over it. Um, but I like this little interaction, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So thanks for joining us. Um, next time might be streamed on the Malifaux World Series channel instead of on my channel. But other than that, we'll make sure all the links are posted in all the relevant places, and we'll make sure we get the content out to you guys.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.